Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another of my movies you probably missed reviews. Today's review is for the 2016 film The Nice Guys, a film that is written and directed by Shane Black, and it stars Russell Crowe as Jackson Healy, Ryan Gosling as Holland March, Annagori Rice, Matt Boomer, Keith David, Margaret Qualley, Beau Knapp and Jill Gerard, who you may remember from Buck Rogers. Right, why is this on my Movies You Probably Missed series of reviews? Well, because it's a film you probably missed. Most people did when it came out. It's one of those films that was universally praised by critics and nobody went to watch at the cinema. I believe the budget was around 50 million to make this movie, and I think it made back something like 64 million at the worldwide box office, which for me is astounding. This film deserved to be a worldwide box office smash. For me, this film is perfect. I adored this film the first time I watched it. I've probably watched this film the most out of any film I've seen in the last decade. I've probably watched this film at least 12 times, and I'm rubbing my chin like Ryan Gosling is right there. I just adore this film. The first time I saw it, it just blew me away. And now I'm a big fan of Shane Black. Now, for those of you who don't know, Shane Black, he wrote, things like Lethal Weapon. He was involved in Predator. He acted in Predator. He was one of the best screenwriters of the 80s and beyond. And then he started getting into filmmaking, and he broke through big time when he made Kiss Kiss Bang Bang in, was that 2005? The film that basically put Robert Downey Jr. back on the map. And that was another film that was universally praised by most, but not a lot of people saw. It's an incredible film, and it is a film I will probably get round to reviewing at some point. I loved that film, and I think Shane Black is a wonderful director. Now, he's not done himself any favours with The Predator that he directed. I think we all thought he was going to really nail that film and that franchise, and he didn't. Iron Man 3, which is a good film, which he directed, again, didn't really set the world on fire. And I think whenever Shane Black is kind of taken out of his comfort zone and put in charge of like blockbuster type films, we don't see the best of Shane Black. When he's put in charge of projects that are his babies, like this and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, you will see a work of genius. Now, for those of you who have never seen The Nice Guys, what do you get with this film? Well, essentially this is a film, it's like a film noir almost, a detective story set in the 1970s. And you've got two characters. Russell Crowe's character, Jackson Healy, who is like a local enforcer. He basically goes around and beats people up for money. Then you've got Ryan Gosling's character, Holland March, who is a private detective. A pretty sleazy private detective. Pretty much lost all his enthusiasm for most things in life. The only thing that's keeping him going really is his daughter Holly March, played by Annagori Rice. Now, circumstances basically lead to Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling's character working together to solve a case involving a missing person, Amelia, who was the daughter of Kim Basinger. So they're charged with basically tracking this girl down. And this girl is involved in the porn industry, and there's also a huge conspiracy with the huge corporations in Detroit that make cars and things like that, and it's all intertwined. It's quite a complex story, but it's told in such a simplistic way. It doesn't feel complex when you watch it because you are so engrossed by these characters and the immersiveness of the film. It just kind of washes over you, the story, and it just feels right, and it all makes sense when it's supposed to make sense. It's one of the best written films I've ever seen. And the two characters of Jackson Healy and Holland March, I think, are two of the best on-screen, one of the best on-screen pairings I've ever seen. They are electric. They are magical together. You can tell that Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling had an absolute blast making this film. Their chemistry is second to none, and they are both hilarious, especially Ryan Gosling. Who knew that he had such fantastic comedy timing and comedy sensibilities? He is incredible in this film, Ryan Gosling, as is Russell Crowe, and they bounce off each other brilliantly. The interactions and the discussions that take place between them are absolutely magic, and I can't focus on any one because it happens consistently through the movie. Their interactions and their pieces of dialogue are just absolute golden. Another standout performer here is Anna Gauri-Rice as Holly March, Ryan Gosling's daughter in the film. What a fantastic actress. She knocked it out the park, and she is a huge central character here. Holland March's moral compass, if you like, and also Russell Crowe's Jackson Healy. She becomes his moral compass as well. The film is immersive, it's funny, the cinematography is breathtaking. The lighting, the music is incredible. This fantastic 70s soundtrack. It feels like, you know, you really are in the 70s when you watch this. And when you take all these things into consideration, like it's a detective story, you know, you've got this great partnership, this great dialogue and stuff. It even nails the action set pieces that it gives. You've got two actors here that kind of do that sort of thing blindfolded. And they do it again, pitch perfect, in line with their characters. Russell Crowe plays the tough guy, so he gets to do all the rough and tumble type stuff, and Ryan Gosling kind of fumbles his way through the action scenes in hilarious ways, and he's got this wonderful high-pitched screech that he does in the film. It is very ladylike. There's a scene in the film basically where Russell Crowe is paid to stop Holland March, which is how they meet, from following Amelia, trying to track her down, and he kind of breaks his arm really, and the whole sequence is just hilarious. You know, he breaks his arm and then asks him if he can have an apple. It's just incredible. Who would think of writing things like that? The interaction between them when he meets him again on the toilet. Ryan Gosling's on the toilet, and Russell Crowe goes to him for help this time, and the discussions and interactions with him on the toilet, it goes on and on and on. This film for me is absolute perfection. It's a crime that this film didn't do well at the box office, because I remember watching at the time lots of interviews with Russell Crowe and things like that, who enjoyed his time so much on the film, would have loved to have done a sequel, and I would give anything to see a sequel to this film because I love this film so much. For me, it's a 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen The Nice Guys, I beg you, I plead you to go and give it a watch. You won't be disappointed. It's just a magical film, a modern masterpiece, and a film that deserves to be seen. So that is my next review in movies you probably missed. I hope you like this review. Fun fact as well, guys, Robert Downey Jr. does a cameo in this film. It's a blink and you'll miss it moment. There's like a porn director killed in the film, and you see him with like a fake beard and things like that on, and I guess it's probably Robert Downey Jr. tipping his hat to the director after what Shane Black did for him in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and putting him back on the map. So yeah, a little bit of a fun fact for you guys as well there. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Please watch this film if you've never seen it before. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I'll be back with plenty more reviews and content very, very soon.